What's going on? What's going on, everybody? It is the only sports podcast. That's right, the only sports podcast. I'm Will. That's Casino over there. How we doing today, Casino?
Doing okay, man. Doing okay. Watching some Champions League soccer right now, or football, whatever you want to call it. I'm fine with both. Going great. Actually, not really. My team is down, so not so great. Got to take the kids to the doctor today. That's why we're doing this a little early. One's a follow-up for one of the kids, and the other one is just sick. So it's that time of year, right? Everybody's just getting sick.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
What is it?
Are they sick or is it just allergies? Who knows?
Yeah, I was so excited for the show today, Casino. I literally, for the first time in, I don't know how long, I put up the show to preview it at 3:00 this morning. And so, of course, the one time I do that, we start an hour early. But
sorry, buddy.
Crumbles.
I woke up to a text message saying, "Hey, the kid's appointment is at 2." And I was like, "Oh." And then Michaela's not going to school. I was like, "Oh, great. All right, this is great. Sounds great."
Yeah, that's just the life of a parent right there. Life of a parent. I mean, we had to cancel last Wednesday's show because my kid had to go to the doctor's office. So
yeah, your kid busted his foot and said that's fine. He was just a baby loser. Did you tell him that? Did you tell him that?
I did.
What did he say?
Said he just rolled his eyes and said, "Bruh." So that's all you'll get out of him. That's all you get. But
how old is he? He's an early teen, right?
13.
I was gonna say, yeah, 13.
The earliest teen.
The earliest of the teens. I was like, yeah, it's either 13 or 14, but yeah. All right.
I mean, where do we even start?
I mean, we have to start with the number one news. We have to talk about Maxx Crosby, dude. You have to. This is just the wildest story. I personally don't recall this happening in the time that I can remember covering and watching football. This is just wild. So Maxx Crosby, it was the big news. Ravens take him, 2 first-rounders. Maxx Crosby goes to the Ravens. Looks like a great deal for everybody kind of situation because the Raiders, they need help. They can't pay and keep Crosby. He wanted out anyway. And boy, oh boy, what happens? He does not pass his physical. Busted knee, broken knee, whatever you want to call it. Issues with the knee.
I'm having issues over here, but no, it was, the craziest thing is, so now that all the dust has settled on it and we're getting all these reports, not only was he in the Ravens training office, talking in the building, talking to coaches, all that kind of stuff. The Ravens organization was talking to Trey Hendrickson when Maxx Crosby was in their building. There's in no scenario where they signing both of them. So that must have been a situation where it was so bad that immediately they knew, the Raiders are clearly either. Do you think it's the Raiders were lying or Maxx Crosby was lying? Because Maxx Crosby, again, playing basketball and really pissed off that the Raiders sat him for the last 2 games because of this injury.
I think the Raiders weren't saying everything, but I don't think Maxx Crosby was going to correct them. I don't think he was going to go out and say, "Hey, they're not telling you this or that." He wanted out, so he wants out so bad. He does not want to be there. He's made it clear he does not want to be there. So I don't think that he was lying. I just don't think he wasn't just telling anybody anything. He wasn't lying. He just was like, "Nope, I'm just going to keep that to myself." The Raiders, if they want to shoot themselves in the foot, shoot themselves in the knee, my knee, we'll figure it out.
So the overview of this is that on Friday, it was announced that Maxx Crosby was being traded from the Raiders to the Ravens for the Ravens 2 first-round picks. A first-round pick this year, a first-round pick next year, which was a big swing for a Ravens team that had never traded a first-round pick. Right? In their entire, they've been around since 2000, so 26 years. They've never traded a first-round pick. So, what is it? They started doing that.
Oh, sorry, excuse me. I've been eating a lot of protein and drinking a lot of protein shake stuff.
There you go. So, they've never
finished an apple, a lot of fiber.
They've never traded a first round pick. They decide to trade 2 for Maxx Crosby. Maxx Crosby goes into the building yesterday to get a physical. Almost immediately, obviously, the Ravens are like, oh, he's not good to go, which again, he's 8 weeks after having meniscus surgery
Yeah.
and only got off crutches last week. So he is, as of right now, he is still projected to be ready to start week 1 of the NFL season.
Yeah.
So again, I don't understand this.
No, I think you said it best when we were doing the TikToks, a little off air, that they knew what they could get with Henderson, right? They knew they had Trey, they were sitting there, he was in the building, or not in the building, but they had the conversations, right? They knew what was going on, and immediately they were like, oh, we know he was probably not going to pass his physical, but we were going to stick with them until they found out they could get the other guy. And then they're like, oh, all right, we'll take our first rounders back. You can have him. We're going to do this other deal. So I think that's more of the case of what happened.
Yeah, it's just, man, I don't think we've ever, because, well, the thing is, especially with this year where they changed the legal tampering, it was you're allowed to start talking to these guys where it's the players instead of just the agents, but the official start of the next league year is today. So up until today, none of these deals are official. So that's why I feel like the Ravens had to just almost shotgun like their rejection of Crosby, because if it would have gotten to today, like that deal's just final, right? Like they have to send that trade because today's the first day to make it official. So the weirdest piece of this we mentioned at the beginning is not them pulling back the deal, is them immediately, as of 5 hours ago, they signed free agent Trey Hendrickson on a 4-year deal worth up to $120 million with the Ravens, including $60 million fully guaranteed and a $20 million signing bonus. So he, again, how comfortable are you with paying an edge rusher almost $30 million a year?
Not comfortable about that. I mean, especially with what's coming out of this draft. There's a lot of young kids that you can develop, and like you can do that, right? You can do that. That's what teams are supposed to do. Go to the draft, figure it out. You don't always have to make the big splashy free agency signing. I mean, some teams want to. The Ravens, they wanted to because they're kind of in that desperation mode right now because they have Lamar. He slightly has a decline coming up, right? He hasn't played well in the last season and a half. That I think it was time for them. They have to do it. They're all in this season, this next 2 seasons. So
yeah. Well, also it now becomes a thing where we talked about this on the TikTok a lot. Go follow us on TikTok. But we talked about it there where now what does this do to Maxx Crosby's value? This feels like it just tanks his value endlessly, especially for the Raiders. Like, I don't know what the Ravens or what the Raiders did to the Ravens to piss them off, but now there's no way any team in this league is trading for Crosby for 2 first-round picks, which was the asking price because that's what he got for the deal with the Ravens. Mm-hmm. So now if you're the Cowboys, if you're the Bears, if you're the Eagles, if you're the Patriots, if you're all these teams looking for a Maxx Crosby-esque player, are you even calling up the Raiders and offering?
Oh yeah, apparently there was just tons of calls coming into the Raiders organization after this news of him going back there. Do they get the same deal? They could get close to it, honestly. I was thinking more and more about it. Like you just said it, he should be ready. He's supposed to be ready to start the season, right? You have this whole summer to workshop that, right? You're not losing your skills. You know how good you are. You know how to play the game in that position. Give your knee time to fix itself. You went in, you got the surgery, and now you got to heal. You got to do that whole process, but you know what you can do. And I just think the Ravens, they knew that they could get the other guy, so they got rid of him. And yeah, I still think that teams could still go a 1 and maybe like a 3rd. I think for Crosby, you're still looking at a 1 somewhere. Two first. I don't know about that, but definitely at least 1.
So make the call, Casino. Where do you think he goes? Because again, the weird thing is the Cowboys like just came out immediately and were like, no, we already got a guy in free agency. We're fine with him.
See, I don't
Like
know now. Yeah.
that's I think honestly, I think it's got to be the Bears. If you're the Bears, again, you're
Dude, if the
built to
Bears get
win
him,
now.
this team is good because they got so much better in the trenches in the offseason, or just in the past like week. They did a
Mhm.
lot of work. The Bears have a legit run if they could pull off Crosby and have just fix up that defense a little bit more. That team will be good. That team will be real good.
Yeah. I mean, outside of that, I don't know where else he goes. Like there's literally it's just what I because I don't think again the Eagles are losing everybody left and right. I
Oh,
don't think
same with my team. Same with my
yeah,
team. They're just getting rid of literally everybody. That team
honestly,
that went to the Super Bowl last year, like half of them are gone already. I don't get
like
it.
this is one of the most annoying things about this free agency tracker is every free agency tracker I find only lists the players they got, not the players they lost. I
Right.
hate it. I hate that we can't see who they signed and who they lost. But who what is it? The Eagles have lost everybody. Also the team that's kind of losing everybody left and right. You said your team that went to the Super Bowl. Also, the Seahawks. Did they realize they won with defense? I feel like every one of their defensive players is just getting signed by other teams. It's like again, now the Bengals, we knew this was coming with Hendrickson because we talked about how they signed Boy Mafe last episode. But again, they signed him for half of what Trey Hendrickson is getting with the Ravens or with the Ravens. So I don't know, just free agency. And then we thought that would be crazy news. We teased this where there was rumors of this on Monday. As of 4 hours ago, the Colts and quarterback Daniel Jones have agreed to a 2-year, $88 million deal that could be worth up to $100 million. Multiple sources tell me he gets $50 million in the first year, and it's the largest second-year contract in NFL history, and that's by Schultz. So is Daniel Jones worth $100 million, Casino, for 2 years? $50 million a year?
I mean, he did really well, man. He did really well. As soon as he left, that team was projected to win the AFC. And then he gets hurt and they just go to shambles. They don't make the playoffs. Like, I don't know, man. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive that you had the team in winning the AFC, position to win the AFC, and then you go out, they don't make the playoffs. You were doing something right. You may have earned a payday.
He now officially gets paid more than Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield, and I think and your guy Drake May.
So
But
that's
'cause he's
for
on a
2
rookie
years. That's
contract.
for 2 years. Okay,
I
it's for
know.
2 years. It's not a 3, 4, 5-year contract. I don't hate it. You earn that, right? Again, you were in playoff contention, you were in contention to win the AFC, and then your team does not make the playoffs. You had the number one offense, you were scoring the most points, you go out, and then everything just goes to shambles, right? Everything just goes to hell. So,
God, looking at what quarterbacks are paid a year, who do you think is the highest paid quarterback in the league right now?
isn't it still Kirk Cousins?
No, it is not. Kirk
Oh.
Cousins he's now number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Oh,
9,
geez
10, 11,
Louise.
12, 13. He's 14th.
And
So
I have no idea. I have no
it
idea.
is Dak Prescott who gets $60 million a
Yeah,
year.
because he did. You're right. He just did that. They re-signed into the
So
structured
the
contract.
5 highest paid quarterbacks, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence. They are 0-1 in Super Bowls they've been to. And
0-1. That group
and
has
it's
been to one Super Bowl.
and lost it with Joe Burrow. Everybody else hasn't really even sniffed it.
No,
Trevor
and Joe
Lawrence,
Burrow
Jordan
hasn't
Love.
been there in a long ass time because he doesn't have an O line. He doesn't have a
Yeah.
team behind him.
But again, Daniel Jones. Now, again, the argument you can make for Daniel Jones is they didn't win another game. He didn't start for the Colts.
What I just said.
So
Like I see it.
yeah. So again, the quarterback that replaced him was Philip Rivers, who hadn't played football in 5 years. So it's not like they got Patrick Mahomes off the bench and then they were just like, we can't win without Daniel Jones. So that is a skewed statement. But
I mean, but they still have all
God,
those pieces. Like, I don't know. And Rivers was protecting the football.
yeah, I
Like,
don't know.
isn't that what you ask for your quarterback? Veteran coming off the couch, rookie, first year starting. What's the first thing you ask them to do? Protect the football.
Yeah, well, we
That.
talked about it
He
on the
did that.
show. He was good.
He did that.
It was fun watching him. It looked like he was putting every ounce of strength he had on every throw. But also, last little bit on the Raiders. We talked on Monday how it was like, man, Raiders aren't really spending a lot of money, even though they have the most cap in the entire they have the most cap even in the entire NFL. And then all of a sudden, almost the second after that podcast ended, they got 2 edge rushers. They got Nakobe Dean from my Eagles, who I love. They got Quay Walker, the linebacker from the Packers. They got 2 cornerbacks. And now all of a sudden you look at this Raiders team and it's like they're going what is it? They're going into next season, completely revamped defense. Their offense is going to get a new quarterback. Obviously, Clint Kubiak is coming over from the Seahawks. What if they just keep What if they just keep Maxx Crosby? Again, they can sign all these guys and still have leftover cap space because they had so much available cap space going into this offseason. What if you just put Crosby on this line? Again, if you're not getting the King's ransom you thought you would at this point, King's ransom being 2 first-round picks. So why wouldn't, if you're the Raiders, you just go, hey, we kind of rebuilt our defense. Maxx Crosby would be a perfect piece to put in with the other 2 edge rushers. Again, last couple Super Bowls have been won by not having A+ across the line. You just need B's across the line in depth. Right. And with Maxx Crosby, you already got an A. The other 2 guys, I would say, are in the B range. Like, again, they're 2 linebackers I love. I've always loved Dean and Walker. So now you have a defense, if you're the Raiders, where you just go, hey, our defense is actually going to be pretty good. If we plug Maxx Crosby into this, we have an offense where maybe, again, I think if I'm the Eagles, or if I'm the Raiders, I'm kind of feeling out what they want for AJ Brown and saying, hey, what if we gave you a first-round pick next year and like our second-round pick this year? That's pick what, 33? Like, I think the Eagles would honestly go, yeah, we take it. You're still getting 2 first-round picks for AJ Brown. You're getting a pick in the top 33 picks. You're getting a first-round pick next year. If you're the Raiders, you're getting your new starting quarterback. You have all this rebuilt defense. You're getting a true number 1 wide receiver. You got Ashton Genty there. Brock Bowers is arguably already the best tight end in the league. Like, that's a pretty interesting
He's top 3, yeah, for
team.
sure.
Like, I mean, going into next year, Casino, if you're the Raiders at this point, why don't you just keep Crosby? See if you can trade him in a year for 2 first.
I just think I think the relationship is broken.
Yeah. But again, it could be new head coach and you just go in there and you just be like, hey, listen, buddy, you're just here to play football. You're one of the best. We know you wanted out of here because how things ended last year. This year's going to be different. New
You go pull the old Mike Vrabel. Be the players coach.
Yeah,
and I know I'm a Patriots fan saying Vrabel, but I mean he just won Coach of the Year for that reason, right? Be a players coach. Go in, make players feel good and want them to stay there. Go in and you tell Crosby, hey, we know that you had this knee injury. We know we were trying to get rid of you, and we know you weren't happy here. But here's the reality of it is we're not going to get what we wanted for you, right? So you will be playing for us this year. And how about if you want out next year, we could try to get that worked out. But you need to go in there. You need to show that you're still really good even after this knee surgery, even after the meniscus repair. You go in there and you just show them that you are still elite, dominant, and we can move you next year if you still really want to.
Yeah. I'm scrolling through this free agency tracker. The Eagles re-signed Grant Calcutta. Why?
The Patriots made a whole bunch of moves today. We don't need to get into them, but essentially they're backloading the secondary, and as my Patriot chat's going right now, um, we're talking about, oh, can we afford Crosby? There's no way, but we can hope. And then my other guy was like, probably going the route of coverage so good that they'll have to sack the quarterback eventually. Like pretty much, we got no edge rushers, but our backfield or our secondary is going to be so legit that yeah, just so legit with the signings that we have and whatnot that we just got over the past day. Um, yeah, that it's
Well,
just going to be that bend don't break defense. Oh yeah, this
well,
is gonna be
at this
fun.
point, when it comes to where Crosby could go, he can't go to Dallas because
No,
they have negative 15 cap still. Buffalo, he can't go to. They got negative 4 million. Again, I feel like you can skirt around these cap numbers until it's in
I
the
mean the
negative.
Cowboys have already started doing that. They started manipulating some of like the contracts and putting them into bonuses and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I don't
Um,
think they can do that
they
enough
can't.
to free up
No, they can't.
$120 million.
No,
Like,
no,
there's
definitely
no
not.
way. Uh, Eagles have a little room to work with, but I don't think they trade for Crosby. If he goes to Kansas City, there's a real shot he could go
That
to
they're
Kansas.
back. They're
Yeah,
going all in. I could
I
see
know.
Kansas City going. I mean, going for it. Would it be a long shot for them to get it done? I think so. But they're calling. That was a team that called and we're just like, what does it take? What does it take?
Well, they also just got another first round pick from the Rams, right? So they could just trade their first 2 picks this year and just be like, hey, we want Crosby. But again, with the Raiders trade in division, that might be the saving grace for how he doesn't end up a Chief. But the Raiders might just be like, no way, we're gonna have to see him twice a year and he hates us. Like, no way.
You know who's the happiest person out of all of this?
Joe
Is Joe
Burrow.
Burrow.
Yeah. Except now, what is it? He has to have his buddy Trey Hendrickson on the other side.
I mean that's true, but at least he knows him, he can anticipate him. You know what I'm saying?
Played against him in practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But again, the
Hold
Ravens,
on.
who they've
You
lost this
keep
year.
talking. Lost me for a sec. My team has got a penalty kick here, and I'm going to be a little focused on this. I'm trying to stay focused here. This
Yeah.
is big. This is big.
What is it? So the Ravens so far this offseason have lost Tyler Lindenbaum, their starting center, Isaiah Likely, and Charlie Kolar. So both of their
I
tight
like
ends.
Likely. He's so
I
likable.
did too. I did too. He is very likable. Their outside linebacker, DeMonte Jones, both their safeties and their fullback and Likely both went to the Giants to be with John Harbaugh. So again, the Ravens have lost a lot of people. They've only added they re-signed their cornerback. They added the edge Trey Hendrickson, and they shored up the offensive line by signing John Simpson. But again, they lost so much. So maybe it is smart of them to just keep I think it honestly is smart of them to keep their 2 first-round picks and they get a pass rusher anyways. Because again, the gap between Crosby and Hendrickson is what? Crosby is the third
Especially
best.
with Crosby coming back from that tear. We'll have to see what happens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I think they made the right move of just canceling that trade right away. You get your picks in again, and this draft has a lot of those kind of players, right? However, you're saying all these other pieces that they lost. I don't know if they're going to be able to find all those good replacements in this draft. They still have to make some moves.
For some reason, I just feel like suddenly tight end has now just become a need for like half the teams in this league. I've heard nothing about the tight ends coming out in this draft. So I don't think this is a good tight end draft. Apparently, every draft now, every single year is just a good wide receiver draft. Every single year, you just hear about how it's a good wide receiver draft year after year. Like, that's why I don't understand teams that pay wide receivers big money. It's like every single year, there's 5 guys that come out.
And if you have a good enough quarterback, if you have a quarterback that does his homework and figures it out, like look at I mean, Drake May went to the Super Bowl with some players that are no number ones really, and because I thought Hill or not Hill, Diggs was still like a number 2. Then you have oh my gosh, I am totally blanking right now. Bears quarterback.
Caleb Williams.
Thank you. Caleb Williams. You saw that they moved off of Devontae Moore and they're going to stick with their young guys, right?
Yeah.
And you constantly see Puka Nacua was a 5th rounder, and he's the best receiver in the entire league. So, yeah, I totally agree with you there. You can find players, if you have a good quarterback, if you have a system in place, you can put together a good offensive scheme. So I've never been too worried about the receiver spot. So, yeah, I still hope that my team could get like A.J. Brown or get a couple of these other big names, Alec Pierce. But, it is what it is because you have a quarterback, you have a good system, you can make those players better. Look what Tom Brady did for years, right? Good quarterback, good system, and he made players like Danny Amendola, like all these other players really good. They go off to other teams, right? They go up to other teams, they get their payday, and they just kind of fade away. They just faded away. So it really comes down, I think, to coaching, to offensive coordinator, head coach, if you have the right quarterback. And a lot of these teams do. I mean, again, I keep bringing up that draft a few years back where all these quarterbacks came out, and you almost hit on every single one, like in the top 6. And all of those teams are playing with a lot of receivers that you have a couple veterans, but you got younger players. So, yeah, that's my kids are yelling for me.
Well, also this year, usually the first round is just littered with quarterbacks being elevated from, second rounders up to the first round, just because there's all these quarterback needing teams. But this year, there's really not like quarterback needing teams, obviously, like every year. But the difference being this year, there's only really one quarterback projected to go in the first round, and there's nobody even after one of the most noteworthy NFL combines that we've ever had, which is everybody breaking records left and right. There hasn't been a quarterback where it's just been like, oh man, this guy, he's rising up the ranks, all that kind of stuff. So outside of wide receiver, there's obviously Jeremiah Love, the running back from Notre Dame. Like, this seems like in the first round, it's all linemen, it's all wide receivers, it's all cornerbacks. There's one quarterback coming out. Everybody else looks to be 3 other positions. So, and that's just from me going through all these mock drafts and rankings and stuff like that. But we've talked about enough about this casino. Free agency, again, it starts today, but man, it really slowed down. Thank God we had that Maxx Crosby thing, because other than that, the biggest name on the list right now is where does Kyler Murray go? And for some reason, you know how you can do like the Casino's daughter saying hi.
No, that's my boy.
Oh, that's a boy right there. But what is it? Casino's spawn. One of his spawn.
One of my spawns. I mean, both of my spawns have made debuts today. And you're going to see my spawn just behind me now. He's going to get up on the bed and watch the football match.
So last thing for NFL, and then we'll go on to NBA, because it was a crazy night in the NBA last night. Last thing for the NFL casino, last big name, really, who's a free agent outside of, a couple of glue guys, maybe if you still count Bradley Chubb and Joey Bosa's 2 edge guys. Again, I'd be fine with the Eagles taking either of those guys, even throwing Spenza from the Bills. But outside of those 3 guys, where do you think Kyler Murray ends up going? Because all of a sudden, Kyler Murray,
his couch.
Well, all of a sudden,
to the COD circuit.
It has just emerged that now the favorite to sign him is the Minnesota Vikings. So outside,
I'd want to move off McCarthy, wouldn't you?
Oh, I take 100%. I would take Kyler Murray over 9. But
all day.
Again, if you're the Vikings, if you sign Kyler Murray, doesn't that just have put egg on your face that you are admitting you were wrong about trading or letting Sam Darnold walk? Like, doesn't that just make you admit?
Well, with their GM getting fired, you've admitted that.
I mean, that's true.
You know you messed up.
Yeah. Also, I loved how I loved how when Kyler Murray got released, the Sports Center was doing hey, let's do Kyler Murray highlights. And it was literally the only highlight was him doing the Hail Mary where he threw it into triple coverage and DeAndre Hopkins just made like a crazy catch. It was like that was the only highlight they played. And it was like, yeah, that was a great throw. But again, Hopkins caught the ball in triple coverage. It's not like the throw was this amazing, immaculate pass. It was like, yeah, it was DeAndre Hopkins imposing his will on three other people. But again, you look at Kyler Murray's just numbers for a first round pick or for a first round quarterback who's been in the league for 6 years. He's never thrown more than 26 yards. And rushing wise, his rushing numbers feel like they've gone down every year. 2020 was
he has not thrown more than 26 yards.
No, 26 touchdowns.
Oh,
sorry, 26 touchdowns.
I was like, wait a second.
But again, even in Arizona, never thrown more than 26 touchdowns, never rushed for more than 800 yards, and that was one season. Every other season, he's never rushed for more than 550, 570.
Yeah, I mean, I was high on him, the first year, maybe 2 years when he came out, and I was protecting him. I was like, he'll be good. I know he's short, but he's elusive. He's fun. He's smart, and he's not getting hurt, right? He was a smaller quarterback that was running that did a pretty good job, right, for the most part, on not taking those massive hits. Mainly just people were going over him, stepping over him, but that is what it is. And then the whole COD thing came out and him not wanting to be a part of the team. To me, I keep bringing that up because that to me is so huge. Like, you much rather play video games than work on your profession. Like, that you're getting paid millions and millions of dollars to do that. You're a starting quarterback in this league. Yes, it's for the worst franchise in football history, but whatever.
Well, but you say he wasn't taking the big hits. He's been in the league for 7 years. 4 of those years, he's missed games. Like, again, the last...
I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I didn't say he was perfect.
I mean, that's true. I mean, it could be Tua, which, again, Tua is...
He's still out there playing. He's not blowing out his legs to where he can't play football anymore, RG3.
Yeah, that's true. But honestly, if
could you imagine him starting a podcast? Like, I mean, he might have a podcast. I don't know, dude, but
every day I learn about a new NFL player that has a podcast,
I think they all do.
A new celebrity who has a podcast, and I'm always like, who listens to this? Who listens to this? But honestly, you can say the same thing about our podcast. So thanks to all the loyal listeners. OFP Ginger Ninja's back. He said, "What's up, little guy?" He's either talking to one of us or to your child.
I don't know. My kid's being super cute right now.
Also, Marty Jones Jr. says hi. What's going on, buddy? And then for the second show in a row, now you have to do this every show. It's a running bit. Jacob Obi says, "Hi, buddy. Start panting like a dog." Again, now the context of that is weird when Casino's child is on the screen. Now this looks a little Epstein-esque.
I don't like it. I don't like it.
But now that's a running joke.
Run.
You got to be here every show.
Get out of here.
But all right, we've talked enough about NFL Casino. I think the last domino to fall is Kyler Murray. I don't really see most of the other guys are kind of just, again, glue pieces, guys.
At least anytime soon, there might later down the road, post draft, or there might be some other movement here and there, but for the most part, it's done. It's done.
Honestly, the last domino now with Hendrickson being traded, and obviously Maxx Crosby is now back on the open market, but the last domino to fall is A.J. Brown, which by all accounts, if he's traded, I still don't think he is. He won't be traded till June 1st. Like, it's just not happening. So again, dominoes kind of feel like they've fallen where they must. But now let's move on to what happened last night in the NBA.
Okay,
and what exactly did happen was Bam Adebayo scored the second most points in an NBA game, only behind Wilt Chamberlain's famous 100-point game. He surpassed Kobe's 81-point game, and it was last night against the Washington Wizards. The numbers are insane. So he had, oh, I just had it up.
And he could have passed Chamberlain. He could have passed Wilt's number if he was decent from the free throw.
I mean, that is honestly, yeah. If he would have got 20 more, so last night he was 83 points, 20 for 43 from the line, 7 threes, and again had 43 free throw attempts. So the 43
he didn't
free
have
throw
to be
attempts,
perfect from the free throws, but even if he shot an 80% from the free throw line, I think that number would have passed, right?
Yes. So the NBA record for free throw attempts he set last night with 43. But again, like you're saying, he only made
SGA
20
was
of them.
sitting there and was just like, man, that should be my title.
Well, this is the thing. So obviously it's insane. I think really when you look at how the game turned out, everybody can nitpick the 83 points, and we're gonna in a second. What you cannot nitpick is the first 2 quarters. He had 43 points, 30 points in the first quarter. He was 13 for 24 from the line and 5 threes. And if you go online, and again, I did not watch this game live last night. I feel like a lot of people didn't, because who the hell is watching a Heat Wizards game on a Tuesday night?
I watched just towards the end of the fourth just because I got that update of this crazy number happening on ESPN. So I was like, I'll tune in.
Yeah. I watched the full highlights of the game, and again, I watched the extended highlights. The first 2 quarters, the first half of this game, he was legitimately electric. Like, we can get into all the bullshit that happened in the second half of the fourth quarter, but for honestly the first 3 quarters, he was dealing. Like, he was doing every single thing possible on the court to score. He was shooting threes. He was dunking. He was doing really good passes. Like, again, he was on fire in the first 3 quarters. And then obviously the fourth quarter got wonky with his team like fouling and all that stuff so they could get the ball back. But again, this is my whole thing. When people try to nitpick this apart, mostly they're nitpicking it because it knocks Kobe's record out. Kobe's 81 points is the most celebrated non-record breaking performance, like maybe in sports history.
Yeah.
Because again, everybody celebrates that he's second behind the record, which is weird to me. It's again, 81 points is a lot. Obviously, Kobe gets elevated because of what happened to him, where he passed away too early and all that kind of stuff. All that stuff I get. But to be this upset about a second place record being passed is weird to me. I don't understand it.
I don't understand it either, dude. Like, the dude was out there balling. Yes, it was against the worst team in the league, but you still have to go play the game, man. You still have to go play the game.
And again, everybody this season has played against a team their team is way better than. We haven't sniffed. I don't think we've had a 70-point game this season, let alone an 83-point game. Have we even had a 60-point game this season? I feel like we haven't had, every season for the past couple of years, I feel like we have a 60-point or 70-point game where everybody loses their mind. Nobody's sniffing 80. That's why Kobe did it. What wasn't it in 2000? When was
I'm looking that up right now, actually.
Kobe's 81-point game? It was in 2006. So the difference between the two is in Kobe's game, it was against the Toronto Raptors, and the game was close. So the game was close at a certain point where you could justify keeping Kobe in the game to go for the record, because again, they still needed him in the game. Last night, it was basically a blowout the entire game, and they still ended up winning by 31 points. So at multiple times during the game, I feel like the talk of the basketball world was, why aren't they taking out Bam? Why are they still keeping the starters in? All that kind of stuff. They're keeping the starters in because, again, the Heat aren't doing anything this year. Washington's the worst team in the league. Bam is completely on fire and just balling out of his mind. What else is there? Like, people are talking about as if this is the Oklahoma City Thunder and they have title aspirations. Neither of these teams are title contenders. Nobody thinks Miami, if you could get 100-1 for Miami to win the East, nobody's taking that bet. Like, if like that's how bad the odds are. Obviously, Washington's the worst team in the league. So when it comes to everybody talking about like how could they do this? Why were they doing this? I've heard the phrase ethical basketball thrown around a million times since last night. Why would they not go for this? Why, if you're Bam Adebayo, why, if you're the Miami Heat, why are you shutting this down because you're blowing out another team when one of your players is doing something historic? Like, I've watched a lot of videos and a lot of commentary on this since last night. I haven't seen one person make a legitimate argument why both Bam and the Heat would not try to go for the 81. And again, take out the Kobe aspect of it. We're just looking at the number 81. And like Casino said, he hits his free throws. He goes past 100, which if he ends up
all of his free throws and he goes past 100, you just can't go 50% at the line, which he damn near did.
Yeah. If he would have, again, he would have gone, what? He would have gone, he needed, oh, I'm so bad with math. So he was 17 points away from 100. So if he would have hit 17 more free throws, he would have been at 37 for 43. He would have tied the record. Yeah. So if he would have hit 38 of 43 free throws, he would have got 101
professional
points.
Basketball player, I've played basketball in the youth, a long time ago. Basketball wasn't, my favorite one that I played, but I remember my dad was the coach and he made us sit there and do free throws. You see it in every movie. They sit there, they do free throws. Like that is the thing, in college basketball. We're about to start college basketball. I would say half of these games are going to be decided who's scoring at the line and who's not. Right?
Yeah.
And so I don't understand how a professional basketball player who puts up this kind of number goes in there and you go almost 50% from the line. What's going on?
He went below 50% because 50% would have been 20 out of 40. So he was 20 for 43. He was less than 50% at the line.
See, that is what's mind-blowing to me is, those are Shaq numbers. Those are Shaq numbers, man.
Well, I think actually Shaq was the one who had the most free throw attempts before this, or he was in the top 3 or something like that.
That would make sense.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
what are you going to do to Shaq, down there? You're just going to start wailing on him and hopefully you hit the ball. Right?
Well, the craziest things coming out of this game, like we just talked about, Adebayo's career record, he had already passed for points in a game after the first half, which is crazy. So that's how you know you're feeling it. And then also it was the most points ever scored in a single game by a Miami Heat player, which that record was set by LeBron James when he scored 61. So that's just insane. Now at the end, again, the Heat were intentionally fouling Wizards players when they were up 30 so that Bam could get the ball back. That is the part where it starts getting unethical basketball. But again, show me the reason why the Heat and Bam should not try to go for the record. Because again, he was getting fouled, and you can question if they were fouls or not. But again, people acting like last night, if they were fouls or not, you can do that in every NBA game. So it's not like, oh my God, he was getting fouled and they weren't even fouls. Like, yeah, welcome to the NBA. Welcome to professional sports. How many times on this podcast have we bitched about things not being fouls or games or NFL games where they're penalties that aren't penalties? Like, it's as if this is just, oh my God, we've had perfect refereeing in NBA's entire history, and then all of a sudden this one game it just got wonky with the fouls being called. Like, no. Also, the funny thing is, before Adebayo entered this game, his average for the season was 18.9 points per game on the year. It jumped up to 20 points per game. So now it was he's a career 16 points per game scorer. So again, everybody's saying this is illegitimate or it's not a real, It doesn't surpass Kobe and all that kind of stuff. That's true to a certain extent. But again, in the years from now, 10, 20 years, it's been what, 20 years since Kobe's game? Because Kobe's was in January of 2006. It's been 20 years since Kobe. Nobody remembers the stat line for Kobe in that game. The only thing they remember is 81. So 20 years from now, people are just going to remember 83 and Bam Adebayo on a random Tuesday night in March. So hats off to Adebayo. Again, I really liked him that one year the Heat were going against the Lakers in the finals and Jimmy Butler was going crazy. Him and Bam, they were fun to watch. So shout out to Adebayo. I know Casino's struggling with his child
fun.
over there.
I'm just listening to the show.
No, but anything else you want to add for this specifically, or can we move on?
We can move on.
Yeah. So the weird thing was that was not the only record that was being chased by when it came to Wilt Chamberlain. Also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is chasing a record by by Wilt Chamberlain, and that is you sent it to me. Let me pull it up right here. You've been sending me a lot of NBA stuff lately, Casino. I'm proud of you.
I've just been hitting all the news, been trying to stay in it. Got a lot going on, but I'm like, I gotta focus on the show. So
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, this happened on, I believe it was Monday night, correct? It was
so, yes.
So Monday night, after the show on Monday, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, first off, great game that I watched every second of with OKC and the Denver Nuggets. If that, again, Spurs are right there. If it is not the Spurs, the Thunder, or the Nuggets, as some combination of those three teams in the Western Conference Finals, I'll be shocked. I don't see anybody else in the West. And again, I'd kind of be shocked if anybody from the East beats any of these three teams, because I know Denver is 39-26, and obviously they just lost. Oh shit! How am I blanking on his name? They just lost the one guy to injury.
No idea. No idea. I know. I'm doing as much of I'm doing as much of NBA as I possibly can.
Jamal Murray. They just lost Jamal Murray to injury. But again, they have the best basketball player in the world. Right? He's very good. They have the best basketball player in the world in Jokic. And again, I just trust him in the playoffs. But I do think it's just going to be Oklahoma City, and what the Spurs are doing is ridiculous. Yeah. But
let's get back to that story.
So Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he ties Wilt's record after hitting a three to win the game, and that is, I just had it pulled up.
It's 126 straight games with scoring 20 points a game, 20 plus points a game, 126 straight. I mean, a lot. Yes, he gets to the foul line a lot, and that's contributed. But dude, that's impressive. And this just shows you how good Wilt was, right?
Yeah,
absolute monster. That there's two records, and one's now tied, and the other one was trying to be chased down. Dude,
still
crazy.
It's still being chased down. Like, that's the crazy part. Every time Wilt Chamberlain pops up, the only recent photo of him is always black and white, which knows how long ago that was. Like, the picture, not even the video, the picture's black and white. So that makes you realize how long ago it was. But so Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has scored at least 20 points in consecutive NBA games. In 124 games, Wilt Chamberlain is at a streak of 126. So he needs 3 more games of scoring 20 points or more. And again, everybody was losing their mind at LeBron James' record of scoring 10 points in consecutive games for however many years, except that was only during the regular season, because that year they played the Mavericks. He actually only scored 6 points in a game, but we can't count that because then it ruins the talking point. So then we have to put asterisks on that one where you're just like, well, not counting regular or only counting regular season, which is always weird to me that for records we go, oh, we actually only count these records when you're not playing the most important games of the season, which makes no sense to me. I don't know how, again, when you start putting regular season and stuff like that, it makes no sense to me. So for the Thunder, again, he needs 3 more games to get that record. So let's see what the next 3 games are for the Thunder. This record definitely overshadowed by Bam's big night, but everything was overshadowed by Bam's big night. Again, the Maxx Crosby news, it was like, what can get bigger than this? And then 3 hours later, all of a sudden, Bam's going for a record-setting first half, and then everybody's starting to talk about if he could get 100 points, which again, we talked about. He could have. If he just would have hit those free throws, he was already at the line. It's not like he had to do any crazy shots or anything else. If he just would have hit the shots they were giving him, he would have blown past 100. He would have got like, if he would have made even 20 more of those, he would have had 103 points, which is insane. That's crazy. But so the next 3 games that the Thunder play are tomorrow night against the Celtics, Sunday against the Timberwolves, and then the game-breaking, streak-breaking night would be Tuesday night against against the Magic. So we might have 2 Tuesdays in a row in March where these insane basketball nights are happening, where everybody's talking about Wilt Chamberlain's either scoring or streak of scoring records are being broken. So we'll obviously definitely talk about that next Wednesday when it gets broken. But this show.
What if he fumbles it?
Oh man, I mean that'd kind of be devastating. But again, we talked about it a couple episodes ago. The Thunder have now just become, especially with Dort. Even we're talking about Dort again in that Nuggets game where he hits Joker again with like a spinning back elbow. And then again, if people haven't listened to it, go find the Thunder local announcers talking about that play, because there's a 2-minute period where they're like, oh my God, Jokic is flopping. I can't believe he's doing this. This is so disrespectful to basketball. And then it switches the camera angle and clearly shows Dort like throwing his arm up to intentionally elbow Joker just in the face, and it's a slow motion of him getting hit in the face, and then it's just radio silence. Nothing. You don't hear any.
I gotta look that up. That sounds great.
I'll send it to you. It's really good. It's honestly, it's poetry. But last thing we have to talk about, Casino, and then we'll get out of here on a crazy show, crazy 2 days in sports.
I'm doing my best. I was all ready to do the show, have him at 1, have my son napping, my daughter would have been at school, and I wake up to that. Just, oh yeah, I scheduled it for him at 2. It's on the calendar. I'm like, sweet, let's go.
Yeah,
this is gonna be an interesting show. I immediately, as soon as I got that text, it was like 7 in the morning or whatever. I hit you right up. I'm like, hey, buddy. hey, old pal. We got to do this early.
But so if there wasn't enough crazy things happening in sports right now, Casino, also the World Baseball Classic is happening right now. And as of yesterday,
the U.S., what happened?
The U.S., not only did they lose, they got mollywomped by the Italian team. We lost to those dirty Italians. I can say that because I'm Italian.
It ended up 8-6. Ended up 8-6. But at one point, it was 8-0. Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
To the Italians. So now, what is it? It's the U.S. can be eliminated today if Italy wins again or if Cuba wins. It's one of those two, I know. But what happened? What happened to again, America's pastime? Now we're getting whooped on national television, on worldwide television by Italy. The world in sports really has caught up to us. We used to be the worldwide leader. We used to be the ESPN hockey of the world.
What?
Oh, that's true. That's true. But I don't think, again, Italy's really good. The Dominican obviously is really good. Obviously, I mean that's that they should win it. Venezuela's better than us. Canada,
So
we're
here it
as
is.
good as Canada,
Team USA
Mexico.
moves on. This is off of ESPN. Team USA moves on if Italy beats Mexico. Italy would win the pool play at 4-0, and the Team USA would finish second with 3-1. Mexico beats Italy, and Mexico. If Mexico beats Italy and Mexico scores 5 or more runs in 9 innings, all 3 teams would finish 3-1. Mexico and Team USA would then advance on tiebreaker. So Italy can still be knocked out. So Mexico has to beat Italy, and scores 5 or more runs. Team USA is eliminated if Mexico beats Italy and scores 4 or fewer runs in 9 innings. All 3 teams would finish 3-1. Mexico and Italy would then advance with the tiebreaker. So essentially, Italy wins, U.S. moves on. So go Italy. But if Mexico wins, they have to score more than 5 runs.
Jesus,
five or more runs. So that you'll be watching that game today. Hope for a blowout. Hope for a blowout either way. High scoring. Let's have a 10-10, and we don't have to worry about anything. But yeah, it's great. Great news. Let's go baseball. It's our American. It's the American pastime.
That's what I'm saying. And we're losing to Italy at 1.8-0.
Oh man,
I didn't even know Italy. Again, this thing happens. The World Baseball Classic, I feel like happens randomly at random intervals, but the games are good. I like watching them. And again, also it's on FS1, FS2, and Tubi. So shout out Tubi for having live sports. I actually really like Tubi. But again, it's just after the high of America winning hockey, which only has happened twice in the entire history of the Olympics. Now we're losing in America's pastime. If we lose in hockey, it makes sense. Hockey is not our national pastime. Us losing in basketball us losing in baseball, I mean, is shocking. Baseball or basketball, whenever a Team USA loses in the Olympics, it's like giant soul-crushing news because we have the best basketball players. God forbid we find a way to start doing a World Football Classic and we lose to another country in football, it'd be World War III. Like, it really would. How is another team going to beat us in football? But on that note, Casino, you got to take your kids to the doctors. We're running out of steam here. We came in so hot that we've just lost all momentum. So at this point, it is while Casino wrangles his children. This has been the Only Sports Podcast.
He just bonked his head.
Yeah, it's a madhouse. This actually reminds me of old episodes of our show. This is what the beginning year of our show. This was
he would be sleeping. Like I would be holding him while he was in his sleep sack, and we're doing the show.
Yeah, so this brings back the memories right here. But I'm Will. That's Casino over there. This has been the Only Sports Podcast. Won't be back Friday, maybe Saturday, but we'll definitely be back here Monday to talk about all the latest NFL news, NBA, NHL. We'll get back to all that next week. Just a crazy night in sports. I'm Will. That's Casino and his child. We'll see you Monday. Whoop. Adios.